dynasty, he built his pyramid and he put decoration inside. And close to he did some restoration to show the original height. Those tombs for us up till now being covered by sand. The upper part is missing because it was exposed and people had been recycling blocks, their life belongings, offerings and so on. They're making beautiful boats to sail along the Nile. What's left of his figure. This is the thing. If you want to take photos here, you can do But when you see difference in size between the man and all of the figures in front of him, don't think for a moment that the Egyptians didn't know proportions. They knew proportions, but they had certain rules of the tomb, always represented bigger than the rest of the figures. Second important rule, the importance of anything, give it its, any figure, give it its proportion. So if it is a hunting scene, if he is among, he's always being represented holding a lotus flower. Lotus for Egyptians was sign of beauty. And here the man is watching, he has a lot of beauties. He was the first minister of a canal or the Nile. What would they do? Smart idea. Getting a baby, a newly born calf, pulling the calf. The mother would automatically follow her baby. They had always believed in magical spells. By writing that, by reciting that magical spell, it has the power to put those crocodiles in static. So, but actually the crocodile would stay static because of the drama of death and life. And here, hippos with harpoons, big harpoons, you see that's the harpoon, and fish, again fishing scenes, big nets had been used. But I love this club net and the rope ending with hoops, grasshoppers, frogs, but it's what's under his arms. They knew how to swim, so they used to get reeds of papyrus, tying them under their arm in case they fell off the boat, they will be floating. So safety is first. Life jackets and gear.
Relate to the man that was buried here.
It has to be related. Come closer, please. Whatever minister of the king, and he wanted to be the same. This is with a certain belief. Life for them was too short. They believed they will have a better life, longer life after life. That's why they didn't pay that much of attention. Habibi, come close. And look at the details, the way they showed the fingers, the toes, the nails, always in profile, wearing a beautiful wig. And you see he had a lot of responsibilities, taking care or supervising behind his ears and the papyrus roll under his arm, writing down in details what's going on, what's being depicted in those two registers. One of his responsibilities was taking care of the king's zoo, open zoo. They put different types of animals in that open zoo, and one of the animals was the hyena. But you see them here tying the legs, overfeeding the hyena. You see the amount of food being given? Everything is mentioned. And how the hyena became so big. Why are they overfeeding the hyena? Because that was an open zoo. They wanted to put the hyena with the rest of the animals. They wanted the hyena to be harmless. That's why always overfeeding. See how big it is. Here taking care of birds. And this is what we inherited. We inherited a lot of our ancestors' habit. And then tying the neck, overfeeding. And always, we still do the same. They overfeed the birds and then they start pulling, so it will be as fat as possible to be ready for the party. And that's another big box full of birds. I love the movement. 4,000 years ago, they were able to show movement. Look at the way they attached the wings to their animals and paying different types of offerings, all of them facing the direction of our man, Kagimni, holding lotus flowers, birds, bread, baskets full of offerings, big fish. See how big the fish is. And that it was a man, that was his responsibility to carry the fan for the king, to fan the king, like she's fanning him. And he's being represented seated, relaxing on his special kind of a dog. I don't know whether you have heard about it, called Suluki dog, with a spiral tail. This dog had been used by the Egyptians for hunting. And that's our man again, King Titi, And again, servants, some of them are females, male servants and female servants, all of them facing their faces to the direction of our man, giving him separate offerings. You see the tail, wearing a leopard skin means that he is a high priest as well. The lower part up till now for us, but the upper part had been resized, which is an invisible duplicate. That double didn't need a real door to get in or to go out. So in any mastaba, like now come closer, Habib, come closer. In any mastaba, like of the tomb, if the man died unexpectedly, if they didn't have enough time to finish the tomb, they had to do this, and then they would leave the rest of the tomb unfinished. What is the element ahead of us? This is what we call nowadays false door or dummy door. That's a door would enable that invisible figure to get in, to use the offerings, to go out, in and out. False door, and again, what's written vertically, that's our man Fahimni being represented, and that's the biography, what he had done in his lifetime. Superstitious, and we are still superstitious. We believe by writing certain magical spell, that duplicate, that invisible duplicate will be able to get in and to go out, use the oil, which was a number in ancient Egypt. This means 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Under the sign, 1,000 jar, 1,000 piece head of cattle, another piece of bread, leg, front leg, antelopes, gazelles. So it's one types of offerings. Lotus was a very important part of the offerings to be offered. Birds in a cage, animals, antelopes, gazelles, fruits, vegetables, lotus again, and again the movement, the way they attached the wings, beautiful. And they are all being represented wearing wigs. They used to cut their hair very short, wearing different, showed the rank of the people. I'm covering all the sun relief. Here, the rich relief, you see the figures are protruding out of the wall 1 or maximum 2 millimeters. We see figures or scenes dating back to later on, they are coming out of the wall 1 or 2 centimeters. So here, the art is so fine. Figures are so fine. Everything had been depicted in a very fine way. Beautiful types of baskets, vegetables, fruits, and the scene is here, and what's written down, they are explaining the text. Do you know what I mean? So that's the scene, and that's the text. That line, this is, we talk about hieroglyphic and they have yes, we show you how this is a very special room, and that's where they used to keep valuables. That's why, can you believe this? Traces of a hinge. The wood we see here is original. 4,000. Let's count. واحدة هستنى شوية معلش. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different kinds of oils. Essential oils. Since the very early beginning massaging, and the last stage of mummification was to wrap the body with sheets of linen. So here they are offering, and they are offering the man 7 sacred oils, essential oils, and the sheets of linen. And here, furniture, in case if anything wrong happened to the furniture inside the tomb, they depicted everything he might need in his afterlife. And again, you see half here, they are facing that direction, the other half. So this is a dividing line, dividing the scene into 2 divisions, and both are facing our man carrying, servants carrying golds, rings of gold, big jars, linen, and this is interesting. I like this scene. Here they are pulling those big jars full of libation. And when you go to the pyramids, you might wonder how the Egyptians used to move those heavy blocks from a place to the other. They used to put the heavy stuff on a sled, and they used ropes to pull. But there is another job. Man is standing in front pouring liquid, most probably water, to reduce the friction, to make it as slippery as possible to move. Otherwise, sometimes the sled would fire up. You see here again, it's the same. He's pouring a liquid to reduce. So we got all of the informations from the tombs. And what's interesting, you see the big jars full of essential oils and necklaces, jewelry, chests full of furniture. I'll answer your questions outside because we are